Finding Manga in New York City panel. It's based on the Finding Anime in New York City panel, which we've done a couple times. My name's Clyde Adams, and I have a website, which I'll talk about in a second. And this is Angela Washington, who's much more of an expert on manga than I am, I think. And we'll see how it goes. I have this room for an hour and a half. I did not ask, well, I didn't mean to ask for that long. But
we'll see how it goes.
We will see how it goes. I can't quite imagine us filling that, but we'll see.
You'd be surprised.
I've been surprised before, but I've never tried to fill an hour and a half before. Okay. Anybody been to my other panels before? Lawrence, I know you have. So, Finding Manga in New York City. I run a website. I've run it for the last 10 years called New York City Anime, NYC anime.com. I have cards for it with my contact information and the URL. If anyone's interested, I have lots of cards. Most of the stuff that we're going to talk about, almost all the stuff, either is on this site or will be on it, unless it turns out to be no good, in which case I won't put it on. So we'll see. I have some questionable stuff that I'll be talking about. All right, Finding Manga in New York City. Where can I get manga? Where can I attend clubs and conventions? Well, you found one convention. That's a start. Mainstream sources. We don't have to talk about these too much. I will talk about comic book stores in a little bit more detail than I usually do. Mainstream sources are bookstores, like Borders and what's the other one? Barnes and Noble. They don't have Walden books anymore, do they?
No.
Yeah, it depends on the area.
Yeah.
Not New York City.
Yeah,
They're part of Borders. They're part of Borders now.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Did you want to shut off the first fluorescent half?
I think that'd be a really good idea. Yes, thank you.
Tech people are Hey,
And this one also, or do you want to keep that on?
let's keep.
Or do that?
That's better, I think.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Do you need more volume, or you're good?
I think we're good for volume.
Yeah. It's a good sized room, so.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Where was that? Mainstream stores. Bookstores. We've got Borders and Barnes and Nobles and a bunch of other bookstores which now carry manga and have manga sections routinely, which wasn't true 5 or 10 years ago, but more true. Public libraries are carrying manga, graphic novels, bound volumes of manga, much more than they used to. Comic stores, comic book stores, I should say. I'm going to talk about it in a little bit more detail, but I can only hit the high points because there are obviously many, many comic book stores. There's a low barrier to entry there. Okay, comic book stores. I should say comic book stores, not comic stores. Forbidden Planet. By the way, after the PowerPoint presentation, I've got some photos to share with you of comic book stores and some of the other sources I'll be talking about. So Forbidden Planet, this is a store in Manhattan. It's got the whole second floor is manga and manga-related stuff. The second floor opens a little bit later than the rest of the store opens, but it's well worth it. I was very impressed when I first went there. Jim Hanley's Universe, pretty standard, high-quality comic book store, a lot of manga. Midtown Comics, what I said about Jim Hanley goes for them too. Jim Hanley's got in Manhattan and in Staten Island. Midtown has 2 stores in Midtown at least, one Times Square and one at Grand Central. St. Mark's Comics has some boosters have been recommended to me. I have not been there yet myself, but they carry manga. They've got a Manhattan store in St. Mark's Place, coincidentally enough, and in Brooklyn. Chameleon Comics and Cards has 3 locations in Brooklyn, and it's very well spoken of. We also have one in Manhattan. If you have any questions along the line, sing out. I can say I don't know just as fast as you please. Private manga libraries. Well, There used to be one at the Museum of Comic and Cartoon Art, MoCA, that is closed permanently, or so I'm told. They're reopening the actual museum, but they've gotten rid of the library. So I'm told. The MangaNEXT Manga Library, which you should all know, is right down the hall. It appears at conventions. It also appears at semi-quasi-convention type events, like the Book and Botanic Gardens Sakura Matsuri Cherry Blossom Festival. The MangaNEXT Library was there. I have not seen a complete list of places they plan to go, but it's a good library. It thrives on donations, and it's a good place to check out manga. Specialty stores. Anime Castle is a very big store in Queens, and I've not been there yet myself. I've seen their online store. Image Anime is a fine specialty store for manga and anime type stuff. They do carry manga. They're not very good at manga. They don't have much. They have very little by their own account. They really can't compete with the big guys. And Chinatown stores, which
Your mileage varies.
mileage, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Mileage varies a lot. And so again, don't have a lot of first-hand knowledge, first-hand recent information about those.
Question?
Yeah.
Comment?
Yeah, where's
But-
Anime Castle?
Anime Castle is in Queens. The exact.
I got it.
They're in Flushing.
I have their address.
Just opened a new store in Flushing.
Exactly.
Yeah, their
There's a
main,
warehouse store out in Nassau.
And that's in Mineola.
Yeah.
35-32 Union Street, Flushing, 11354.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you also?
I think it's on the website.
Yeah, it is
The
on the
link is.
website. Their mailing address and their store address, which are different.
Their main
It's got a warehouse too, somewhere,
their main store is in Mineola.
right, which is on Long Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They moved that from, I think they were in the College
They
Point
were
area.
they were in College Point for a
Moved
few
back to
years,
Long
and then they, I guess maybe because the rent was too high, they moved to Mineola.
And nobody
And they
could
didn't
get
have a
there.
store at all. It was sort of like a warehouse, and then they opened a store in Flushing. Within the past year and a half, that
Yeah.
Flushing store's been there. It's not old. It's relatively new.
Yeah, it's just impossible to
yeah,
get to.
it's on my website. That's a link. And if I was connected to the internet right now, which I'm not, I could just link to their site straight from there. Chinatown stores, well, there's Elizabeth Center. That's examples on there, misspelled examples. Elizabeth Center, sometimes called Penguin Village, which is a basement complex of stores on Elizabeth Street off of Canal, I think.
Yes.
D&B Import, which used to have a sort of a website, and they have an empty website. Sugar House, I think specializes in adult stuff. Last time I looked.
I don't remember anyone. Yeah.
I don't. A couple of these may have gone out of business a long time ago. We did not notice. I know some in that area that did go out of business, like Octopus Kingdom, which I used to go to on Lafayette, and that's long gone. There's another one that went out of business in Chinatown, and I forgot the name of it though. Because Brian Camp was telling me he ordered something from there, and he went out of business in between the time he ordered it and the time he picked it up. He got his money back, I think.
Well, that's good.
All right, where can I get anime? That should be manga, not anime and manga. The editor screwed up. Japanese new bookstores. Kinokuniya in New York, in Bryant Park, is the largest Japanese bookstore in the United States, and they have a fair amount of manga. Asahiya is a much more modest store than it used to be, but they also have some good manga, a good manga selection. Small, but good. Senseido is the bookstore that's kind of replaced Kinokuniya in Mitsubishi Shopping Center in Edgewater, New Jersey. I've not been there. I understand they have manga.
It's all in Japanese.
I'm sorry?
That's all in Japanese.
Yes, I expect so. A lot of Kinokuniya has both Japanese and English. Asahiya has mostly Japanese. They have mostly a Japanese-speaking customer base.
Yeah.
I have bought English stuff there, and